What's going on YouTube? Dr. Popcorn McBurger here with another video, and today I'm here with Preston, Skinny Whiskers, Witty What's It, and Max. He's on Jonathan right now. You can see he's standing they're both standing next to me. What's up, guys? And we're gonna do a rant on the new TTR mods, not specifically them, but just the moderation in general, because while the moderation has pretty much always had its issues, in recent times, some of the bans have just been absolutely ridiculous, and like, while they always have been, these days they just don't make any sense or have any rhyme or reason whatsoever. So this is just going to be a rant on the mods and how inconsistent they are and all that. So first off, we're just going to start off with Max, who had a tune terminated, actually 2 accounts terminated.
3 tunes total terminated, mind you. Yes,
3 important tunes, high tunes, terminated. So we're just going to show you what happened and why we think it's unjustified. So Max, if you want to tell the story, and I can pull up the...
Yes, please pull up my... Alright, yeah.
Or the, yeah, the emails. Yep, alright, I got it. Yeah. So I got it on the screen here, so go for it.
Okay, so one day I was just doing a CEO with Preston and my other friend Mike. He's not relevant though. So basically there was this tune that was being annoying to everyone in the CEO. I don't remember their name exactly, but just all you need to know is they were being annoying. So come the CEO around, they start playing like crap, and when they die, I say that's what you get, fag, to their face, and then they come up to me in Donald's dock and call me rude and tell me they reported me, and I gave the typical I don't care response. And so a few days later, I come home from school, I get ready to play some TTR, and it turns out I was terminated. So I check my email, and I see that I got terminated for 1 line of text. That 1 line of text being, that's what you get, fag. Yeah, needless to say, I was pretty pissed about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that, like, don't get me wrong, he should have gotten in trouble for that.
I did break a rule, like Anthony just said. I broke a rule. However, the punishment was far too harsh, especially considering Preston here, although we'll get to that in a bit, said far worse things than me, he only got a 3-day ban and a 1-week mute for the things he said, and like I said, we'll get into that later. And then there's our friend Grumpy Bear, which I'm not even going to mention the stuff he said, because I'd be here all day talking about the stuff he said.
Oh, yeah, Grumpy Bear said a lot. So basically, Max, he has, what previous infractions have you had, just so we cover that?
I've had 2 infractions for greening, which were only 3-day and 1-week bans, which not that bad. I know greening, it's bad, but yeah, whatever. And I've had 1 3-day mute for saying Nagear to one of my friends where no one was around, and fuck you too to someone in the CEO when they criticized me for having organic squirt.
Okay, so you've got a small history here, and I mean, you weren't put on your last warning. You've never gotten a long ban or a long mute, but they just decided to terminate you for this 1 line of text right here. And that seems
interesting.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like you said, you definitely deserve the punishment. Not this punishment, but you deserved a punishment, like I don't know, a few day mute or a week ban or something like that, just because of your history for one.
A week ban at most, and a 2-week mute at the most.
Yeah, for 1 line of text. And whether you guys agree or not about that, about whether he should be terminated or not for this, well, that's up to you guys. But we will show you here in a second the inconsistency. Like, the punishment did not justify the action, and it hasn't in the past as well. So, with that said, I'm going to show... Oh, and by the way, they also sent it to, like, 2 different emails of his, and they terminated his other account as well. They terminated both of his accounts. Huh?
My higher tune was in a mid-ban, and I'm not going to mention why it was banned because that reason is completely irrelevant, but I'm just going to say they terminated my 130 laugher mid-ban when I could do nothing about it. Mm-hmm. Say what you want about that, but I think that's pretty unfair to get a termination mid-ban when you can pretty much do nothing about it.
Yeah, he couldn't have done anything for that one. Yeah, I believe like you had lent your other one to someone, and don't get me wrong, he doesn't really care about the this account, the one they sent that I got on the screen here. That's like his old dude. He doesn't really care about that one. What he's really concerned with is the one here that got banned for that actually said that's what you get, fag. That's the one he's worried about. This one, I mean, he didn't really care about that, but it just doesn't make sense that they would terminate that one as well. Because usually they don't go like beyond that account to punish you. I mean, I guess I've seen IP bans, IP terminations, but that's not the case because he can log on to. He can log on to other tunes. So why they decide to ban this one as well, or rather terminate this one as well, I don't know. But that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So right, go ahead.
Sorry. Also, before any of you tell me make a new tune. How about you guys make a new tune and tell me how fast you get bored of Toontown Central, and then come tell me to come make a new tune?
Yeah, his tunes are so high at this point, like it's ridiculous. But okay, so here are pictures of his tunes. I blurred out the names and all that. But so this first one, this is the tune that he likes the most, that he was upset about getting terminated. This along with crap, I think where was the
My Cancer Cat.
Your Cancer Cat, yes, that's an inside joke. Cancer Cat. There's his cat. So these two tunes, the 71 Laugh Purple Cat and the Blue Horse, those are on the same account. And then this was his higher one. Surprisingly, the one he didn't even care about that much getting terminated.
I will get into that later.
Yeah, he didn't really care about that one that much. I mean, don't get me wrong, he would like to have it, but as long as he has these two, he's pretty much happy. But yeah, so now he has nothing for one line of text. But so let's move on, I guess, to Preston. You want to tell your story about how what's happened to you in the past? That was pretty much. Oh, hold on. First, I guess we should probably talk about how you actually contacted support and what happened. So we'll get to Preston in a bit. So here's his email, Max's email he sent to support. I guess you can read that. He's just saying like what we told you already, and how he had friends that have said much worse and have done a lot worse, and they got far less of a punishment, and we know for a fact that they had prior infractions, so you can't say they didn't have prior infractions or a history. They had worse history even. And did my tune just no? Yeah, so they had worse infractions in the past. But yeah, so there's the email he sent. He never got a reply, and you can see this is 13 days ago. This is the 25th. He sent this on the 12th. No reply. So you can't say contact support. No, he did. He contacted support. He didn't get a reply. They at least owe him a reply. Whether they unterminate him or not, that's irrelevant. They owe him a reply. But anyway, so seeing as that didn't work, he decided to go on TTR forums, TTR forums, and email, or private message rather, a moderator, and we crossed their name out. We want to keep their privacy intact here. So basically, he just asked if they could look into it, and they just said they don't support, or they don't provide moderation or support over PM, and that they should email support. Well, again, he did, got nothing. So there's that. So now, Preston, do you want to tell your story about what happened with you? And I'm going to get your email message up here.
Yeah. So one day I was like screwing around in Vibrant Valley. I was saying some shit like, stuff I don't want to talk about. Like,
yeah, it's on the screen here, so it's on the screen.
And I was also saying it to my friends as like an inside joke, like at their estates. I said the M word a bunch of times and like shit and stuff. And my punishment was a 3-day ban and a 1-week mute, compared to Max's punishment, which was a termination. Which I don't see how that's fair. That I got a far less punishment for a far worse action.
And did you have any previous history as far as bans and mutes go?
Yeah, I got a 3-day ban before the day the Toonfest multipliers came out for greening. Okay. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, so you had a little bit less of a history, but I mean, Max didn't have a long laundry list of bans and everything to begin with. So you had maybe like one less infraction than he did, but you did something way worse. Or not necessarily something way worse, but your quantity was much more. So, and as you can see on the screen here, I'm not going to read all this to you, but you can see it on the screen. And that happened on February 4th. Yeah, that happened on February 4th. I got these reversed, but sorry. On February 1st, he said this stuff. Got a 3-day ban. You can read all that. Got a 3-day ban. Then he did it again on the 4th and got another 3-day ban. Or was that just a warning? I'm sorry. That first one was a warning. Yes, sorry. That first one was a warning. Then he got a 3-day ban. So he had a warning, and then he had a ban for greeting a few months back. That was his infraction history. And then he said all this and just got a 3-day ban. Meanwhile, Max, on the other hand...
And a 1-week mute.
And a 1-week mute, sorry. And then Max, on the other hand, had just a couple infractions, a 3-day ban, a 1-week ban, and he said one line of text, bringing that up again, that's what you get, fag.
Yeah, one line of text.
Instant termination on 2 accounts. 2 accounts, mind you. 2 accounts.
Yeah, 2 accounts, 3 tunes. But that doesn't add up, because why should I be the one getting terminated when Preston here obviously said far more stuff, as he had mentioned, and he said a bunch far worse stuff. I only said one thing. Why am I the one getting terminated? And you might say, your infraction history. Well, here's what I have to say to that. I've seen tunes bypass the filter with multiple lines of text saying offensive things, or in TTR's case using foul language, a bunch of times, and they probably have multiple infractions themselves, yet I don't see them getting terminated, nor, well, more accurately, hear stories about them getting terminated. So, again, why should I be terminated? That doesn't make sense to me, and it doesn't add up, and again, shows how inconsistent the TTR moderation as a whole is.
Punishment doesn't fit the crime. There's no consistency. I believe here's what I truly believe happens. The moderators, they roll a 6-sided die, and that's your punishment. A 1 could be, just a warning. A 2, maybe they ignore it, blah, 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 3-day ban, week ban, mute, termination. It doesn't matter. What you do, there's no consistency with it. And they'll say, oh, well, you don't know all the infraction history and everything. Well, I mean, we're hearing it from the sources. So, I mean, it's just really inconsistent with how they deal out punishment. So, and we're not the only ones that have had this issue lately. I'm going to go to TTR forums again, and I'm going to bring up a couple threads, and also it's on the Reddit too. I'll get to that in a moment. But here's a thread: moderation system sucks, and so I'll just read this to you. Okay, I've heard people say reporting and moderation is broken for ages, but now I've experienced it firsthand. I can attest to this. Back in summer 16, they got a mute for spamming. No big deal. January, a 2-week ban, month mute to follow up. And he got it for jokingly calling his tune fat and ugly. Jokingly calling his own tune fat and ugly. Really? Jokingly calling his own tune fat and ugly. Let that sink in. A 2-week ban and a month-long mute for that. For calling your own tune that. Not anyone else. Not someone that could get offended by it. Yourself. Then the second day they were unmuted, which was yesterday. This was Tuesday, so I guess that would be about a week ago. Monday, 5 days. Monday, got banned to mute again, and didn't get an email, according to this person. And what they said they were doing was they were pretending to film a golf tournament, and then they said they liked apple pie more than cream pie, and they were asking people for donations to Toon Hall. So, my question is, what here was bad? Okay, does any of this even deserve a warning, much less, like, bans and month-long mutes? Like, what is this? This is crazy. None of this is bad. This is ridiculous. If this is truly what happened, this is ridiculous. And I don't know why this person would make all this up. I don't know why they would make it up. It's a lot of people are having these issues. Now, TTR recently got new mods, as we've mentioned. Something tells me it's these new mods that they're power hungry, or they just don't know what they're doing, and they're just confused that they need to be trained better. I don't know what the issue is, but it needs to get fixed because it's really affecting a lot of people, and it's going to make a lot of people not want to play the game.
Honestly,
I mean,
and you're basically giving a Goshi. You're basically making your Goshi or Riot 2.0, and Goshi was notorious for being a bad moderator. Even Anthony made a video about that on his channel.
Helped get him fired, thank God.
Riot has pretty much the same thing as Goshi, except Anthony didn't make a video on her because around the time of her notoriety, Anthony stopped playing the game, and around that time I was a low tune, so I really didn't know much about her. But I have heard so many horror stories about Riot and Goshi.
Yeah, I never had experience with Riot.
Okay,
but I have heard
Twilight
bad things.
McKnight is a completely different story, but I don't want to mention her because I don't want to be. I don't want to add redundancy here.
Yeah. And then here's Max. He replied to the thread saying that maybe they just have dirty minds and they took things the wrong way, and he just mentioned his whole spiel about what he said earlier. Yeah, so that's that post. I don't know if there's anything on page 2 of that. Do you remember if there was anything relevant on the second page? I don't know.
No, you can check if you want.
Yeah, I'll give it a quick check here. We'll see. I've been scrolling down so everyone can read it. Oh yeah, Max explained how he got the false termination for doing the Boss by HQ glitch. He and Zeus, our friend Zeus Neo, they got a false termination for doing a glitch in Boss by HQ. And they thought they were hacking. That
termination got lifted.
That got lifted, yes, that got lifted. So we tried to go the same route and contact the random dog on Discord. Excuse me. To get him to look into this one and maybe possibly keep the ban. Definitely keep a ban, but maybe possibly lift the termination, just reduce it to maybe a couple-week ban or something. That's basically the gist of what went on here. Everyone's agreeing, blah, blah, blah. You guys can check that out. It's on the screen. Then here's another one, also on TTR forums. This guy says they believe they received a warning, and all they did was tell the people in the CFO there and not to throw a safe, or only to throw a safe at the CFO's head when he's dizzy. Did not use any rude or foul language, no anger. People told them not to be rude because everyone thinks everything's rude in this game. They get really triggered really easily, but maybe that's why the mods are so trigger happy, because they get triggered too. But yeah, they were just helping the Toons, teaching them how to play the game so they don't die. Yeah. So basically, that's what happened, and they got a warning. At least it was only a warning, so I can say that. But a lot of people have been having issues. You guys can check this post out. Yeah, I don't believe this had too much else. There might have been, but just check it out if you guys want. But here's another one more on the Reddit. Now, it's been really bad on the Reddit. A lot of people on the Reddit have been having issues. They've been posting like crazy. The Reddit is really mad at these new mods. So, here's a guy, Gad, the Reddit.
God, the Reddit.
Yeah, the Reddit. So yeah, here on the Reddit, hold on, my PC was being slow for a minute. Alright, so here on the Reddit, there's this guy, Spotty Snifflegoose. He's a mouse. I'll play this video for you in a minute. Well, actually, no, I'll play the video. And then what he says will give context. So basically in this video, he's just, these people are hanging around. In fact, the video's not even really relevant. He just gets a warning or some shit. But anyway, so in the video, he says that he was in Vibrant Valley making jokes. Everyone was joking around, you know, saying some jokingly sarcastic comments, nothing too bad, all that. And he mentions that he's had an account for 3 years, max tomb, never had any problem until, what was this, yesterday. Yesterday, he got 3 warnings and 2 kicks. And they were just getting really, really trigger happy over anything that was being said by anyone. And don't get me wrong, I agree, Vibrant Valley, need to crack down on that. That needs to be cracked down on. A lot of dumb crap goes on there. And, yeah, they need to crack down on that. But I believe he called someone trash in a joking manner. And no one was really offended by it, but whoever this moderator was that you're able to see in that video in the Toontown Central Pond, the shadow of them, he calls them trash. Not the mod trash, but he calls someone trash. I think he did call mods trash. I got the email here. Yeah, the staff were trash. There you go. So he said the staff were trash. Some other things like that. So basically criticizing the staff got him a couple warnings and a few kicks. And then Slate, in this post, you can read it. I'm not going to go through it all because it's crazy. She tries to say that you can't call anyone trash under any circumstances. Okay. I guess.
I'm sorry to interrupt here,
Go for it.
I just say, how can someone get offended by being called trash at the game? And if you say something like it's a little kid and that can hurt their feelings, I just gotta say this. Even though Toontown is a game designed for kids, kids shouldn't really not be playing this game. If there's an online game and it has a chat, even if it has a chat filter, kids should not be playing an online game. They're going to find
little kids.
Yeah, little kids. They're going to find the hard reality of people who play online games.
Any game.
That are not going to be kind to them. Even if they're new, they are not going to be kind to them.
Yeah.
They might try to help them, but if the little kid isn't going to listen, that player is not going to be kind to them. It's a basic concept. Yet people don't seem to understand that, namely the Toontown community. In fact, the Toontown community doesn't seem to understand a lot of basic concepts, but that's a rant for another day.
Yeah, and trash, calling someone trash, that's a very light thing you can say to someone. That's very light. You could say much worse to someone that you didn't like or you thought poorly about. I don't see that as being warning worthy. Like, that's an opinion. So you're not allowed to criticize the staff is what we're getting out of this at all. You can't criticize the staff, and we're making this assumption. It might not be true, but we're assuming these are some of the new mods, because why would a mod that is secure in their mod status get so offended by being called trash? That's just the nature of the game. If you are in a position of power, you are going to be criticized for how you act. That's just the reality. If that's just how it goes. You have power over someone. If you can punish people, you're going to get criticized. I mean, if that offends you that much and you're that insecure that you have to kick that person just over that, I mean, I don't think he wasn't telling any lies. He was simply telling what his opinion on the matter was. But yeah, you guys, you can see this, you can read that. Anyway, so that's just basically all I really wanted to mention. You know, Max got terminated, I believe, unfairly. The punishment did not meet the crime, or punishment did not deserve that crime. Sorry, the crime did not deserve that punishment. There we go. Get it right. And as we saw, Preston did much worse. Grumpy Bear, who is not in this video, he doesn't have a mic, or he doesn't talk into the mic anyway. He has done far worse, and he got far less. So that's basically all I wanted to talk about. Did you two have anything left you wanted to mention?
I don't, not really, although on to your point, like when people say that you're going to be judged when you have higher power over someone and can punish you, again, it's a basic concept, and again, the TTR community doesn't understand it. Not the Reddit or the TTR forums, namely the mods. They don't seem to understand a basic concept.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like Toontown is like the only MMO in the world. It's like unique. It's extremely unique. And not from the standpoint of gameplay. It's just unique from mentality and community. It's not the only kids MMO in the world, but it's the only MMO where people don't understand the basics of the internet. And they want what cannot happen. They want perfection. They want everyone to be like touchy-feely, nice all the time, and the reality is there's going to be arguments. It's not a utopia. Utopias do not exist, but you're making things worse by banning almost all of your good players and catering to noobs. But I mean, that's, you know, we're not gonna go on a noob rant, but yeah, that's all I got. You got anything, Preston?
Nah.
I don't really have much more to say.
Yeah, so, I don't know, TTR staff, if you're looking at this video, can you look into Max's situation a little? And can you try to be a little more consistent and get your mods under control? That's all we're asking.
Please fix the moderation. If there's, like, people will say there's a bunch of things that ruin this game, but in my opinion, moderation is one of the main things ruining this game. It might not be the opinion of everyone else, but in my opinion, the moderation is ruining this game. I mean, it got me to quit. It's getting my friend Zach to stop playing. Preston here stopped playing TTR because of moderation. And hell, even Anthony himself quit for almost a year because of Goshi. Because Goshi was being abusive and all, although he came back.
I mean, it wasn't simply that, but I was just getting kind of bored as well. But you make, I mean, great point. I believe fixing the moderation would be the #1 step to getting TTR on track. Yet they fail to address that. So hopefully this video will help. That's all we're trying to do is help. We don't want Max to be terminated. He wants to continue playing. He put a lot of work into his tune, so if you guys are looking at this, can you help us out here? Can you at least look at it? But anyway, this video has been... Moderators. What's that? Yeah, hire better moderators. Anyway, this video has been going on for a while. It's going up on a half hour. I think it's like 29 minutes now. So I think we're going to end it there. Again, nothing else. Is that it?
That's it.
That's all. Let's give everyone a you stink. 3, 2, 1. You stink. All right. I'll catch you guys on the next video. If you guys made it all the way through, thank you. I really appreciate it. So, peace out.